Hey, Dr. Josh Wagner here with Patient Mastery, where we help amazing chiropractors become the go-to DC, get back to their life, and have their best collections and profits ever. A doc new to Patient Mastery was stuck banging his head against the wall doing old school practice management techniques, practically losing money off of each patient because he thought volume was the only thing that counts, and is now having newfound energy in practice. Things are growing and thinking about, hey, I want to involve bonus structures for my team as they're growing. What's the best way to do it? Percentage, dollar amount, we hit a threshold, something else. I'm going to give you the overarching answer, and I'm going to give you just quick tactics of what makes it work better. The overarching answer, which you may disagree with, is that bonuses and incentives actually don't make your team perform any better. You know why? Because if you have A players, they perform at their best no matter what the incentive is. And you only have A players when you're treating them great, which means great terms, compensation, time off, atmosphere, all of that. Adding an incentive isn't going to change. Now, there's a caveat. If it's really simple, if it's, hey, let's get 10 Google reviews this week, and that wasn't an incentive before, they're going to ask more, they're going to get more Google reviews. But we're not talking about that. That's too simple. We're talking about we're stuck at 50,000 and there's a bonus if we hit 55,000 or 60,000 this month. That's a multi-step. You can't just do one thing and then that happens. That's not going to change their performance or your results by adding that bonus and that incentive. Now, if you're like most chiropractors and your team isn't full of A players, you've got the person B players. They get the job done. They check the boxes. They show up on time. They're nice, but they're not giving you new ideas. They're not going above and beyond. They're not exceeding your expectations. You're not thinking that person really deserves a raise. And you're not thinking, if they were gone tomorrow, I wouldn't hire them. Would I hire them back? That's a big telling thing. So let's call it a B player. A B player certainly isn't going to raise their ability with an incentive because they don't have that ability to raise. Should you have bonuses and incentives? Yes, just because it's nice and people appreciate it. However, it's not going to make the difference in your practice growing. You make the difference and A players make the difference, not a bonus incentive. Now, when you are offering a bonus, make sure you're offering it on things that actually count. Oftentimes, if you're going to give dollars, it should be based on dollars, apples to apples. Now, I get it. If you want to increase Google reviews and you know that increases your reputation and exposure and potential more new patients, sure, you can have a Google review number, and if they get it, or everyone they do get, they're responsible for, they get a certain amount. But what I don't like is when it's volume. What if you're giving away visits for free? And then you hit that volume mark, and then you have to pay them because you were giving visits away for free and you're actually losing money. Now, that's not the norm, but there's lots of area for gray where things get messy. What about new patients? What if those new patients don't start care? What if they're tire kickers? What if they're off? Or what if they drain your energy, ruin your confidence, and waste your time? Do you want a bonus for those? No. So new patient is not equatable with the clinic is making more money. The easiest is collections, but we all know collections don't mean profit. However, it's easier just for the team to understand. And by the way, your team knows what you're collecting, even if they're not handing you the number every day, which they should be. You know where you're stuck right now. I don't care how successful you are. Humans and business owners and chiropractors, we get stuck. And it's your choice. Are you stuck for a month or 3 months, or you've been stuck for years or seasons? It's a big difference. But you know where that is. You can choose what's the total collections for the month above that feels good to you. Is it 5,000 more, 10,000 more? If you were to bring that in and your overhead wasn't rising, practically pure profit, what would you feel good about letting go of giving to award and reward your team? You bump up 5,000, you give them a 500 bonus. You bump up 3,000, you give them 250, 300. There's no right rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be 10%. You know what feels good and appropriate to you and would also make them feel appreciated. It tangibly makes a difference. $50 nowadays, that buys you lunch in some places. 300, 500, more than a car payment, big chunk off potential rent, plus gas, plus dinners out. Like, there's value there. When thinking about actual, tangible, what should I bonus, how should I do it? The easiest way to start, this isn't the only way, you know where you're stuck, pick what would inspire you if you got there, what collections level in the upcoming month, and what portion of that, not a percentage, but you tell them 300, 400, 500, 600, whatever it is, this is your bonus if we get there. Now, there's multiple variations. You could have halfway there gets half a bonus. All of those are choose your poison. But the bottom line is, have something, it makes your team feel appreciated. It's not going to make any difference on your results or their performance, because if they're A players, they're going to give their best. And if they're B players, they're already giving the best they can, and it's not cutting it. It's keeping you stuck. Hope this made a huge difference for you. What can you act on immediately today? And if you need help getting more right fit new patients attracted to you, paying you out of pocket, following your recommendations, happily and enthusiastically and referring others to you and singing your praises online, that is the Patient Mastery Proven Process. You can go to patientmastery.com, learn all about it, apply to interview with one of my coaches to see if it's a fit for you to join this ridiculously special community and coaching and amazing content where docs are doubling and tripling and having their best practices ever with more time off. Maybe I'll see you on the inside.